Good morning, friends, and welcome. Let's start with a prayer together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, Guru Preceptors, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Shri Teswarji, beloved Guru Dev, Paramahansa Yogananda Ji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet. We offer our lives to thee, body, mind, and soul. Come to us at this holy time of Christmas as we focus our minds on Christ and on the Christ, Krishna consciousness that resides in all masters and within us. Bless our meditation with thy divine presence. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We'll hear a song now, and then Swamiji, just very briefly, a talk by Swamiji. Welcome again.
Today, in our meditation, let us remember to not move at all. Keep your body completely still. And remember that your thoughts help the thoughts of everybody else, and your restlessness will hurt the concentration of everybody else. So you have a responsibility to everyone to meditate as deeply as you can, and not to allow your mind to wander. A thought that I would like to suggest that we meditate on today is something that Master said in one of these meditations, metaphysical meditations. God's body is space, and if you want to feel Him, you must feel space in the body and all space around it. The first experience of God is deep inner peace, and that sense of space is what gives that consciousness of peace. So if you keep your body completely still and concentrate on relaxing it, becoming aware of the space in your body, then you will begin to feel in that space, in that apparent nothingness, the inspirations of the divine. Today, being in honor of Christ, let us think of Jesus not only as a man, but as the infinite Christ that was born in His body and that must be born in our bodies. May this day be a day when that consciousness will be
In that, Swamiji was saying, may that consciousness be born within all of us. So meditate a moment as I read from the New Path on the Christmas time and meditation. As Christmas approached, Swamiji says, my heart was singing with the happiness I had never before even dreamed existed. Christmas was an important holiday at Mount Washington, the most sacred of the entire year. Master had divided it into two basic aspects: spiritual Christmas, which we celebrated on Christmas Eve, and social Christmas, celebrated the following day with traditional present opening and a banquet. On the 24th, we gathered in the chapel at 10 in the morning for an all-day meditation, inviting the infinite Christ to be born anew in the mangers of our hearts. I don't know how many have approached their first experience of this long meditation without trepidation. Few, I suspect, and among them, certainly, I don't include myself. We took our seats, Master, at the front of the room facing us. The doors were closed. From that moment on, save for a short break in the middle, no one was supposed to enter or leave the room except in an emergency. Sessions of chanting alternated with increasingly long periods of meditation. Sometimes, to alleviate any physical tension we might have, Master had us stand while chanting. For some of the more rhythmic chants, he had us clap our hands. At some time during the afternoon, Master had a vision of the Divine Mother. In an ecstatic state, he related her wishes to many of those present. Some he told to give themselves unreservedly to God. Others he informed that the Cosmic Mother had blessed them specially. And then he spoke to her directly out loud, that we might hear at least one side of this blissful dialogue. Oh, you're so beautiful. He repeated over and over, don't go. He cried at last, you say the material desires of these people are driving you away. Oh, come back. Please don't go. The meditation that day was so deep that the customary 10-minute recess halfway through it was omitted. The apprehension I had felt at the outset proved a delusion. I'll go over the purpose, first of all, of this meditation and then how to go about it. But as you could feel from Swamiji's talk, his introduction that we heard, and from this writing from the New Path, it's a very sacred time. And we can open ourselves and become receptive to the deep blessings flowing now at this special time of year, or we can just close ourselves off and be just normal. But for a devotee and one who's seeking God communion, it's a time to have, as Master said, divide this holiday into a spiritual time and your social time. So Master, when he first went to America in the early years, he started this long meditation. And I participated in it for, I don't know, at least 40 years. At the beginning, it feels like, as Swamiji said, that, oh, I'll never be able to do 8 hours. But as you start, you realize that, as he said, that time is really an illusion, and that what you're thinking is going to be difficult is really very much a delusion. And so why do we do it? We do the meditation to uplift our consciousness to reach the highest level, the consciousness that the masters had, that Christ had, that Krishna had, that all of our gurus had. We try to reach for that. I'm just coming from some days of seclusion where I was able to meditate long hours every day. And I realized the deep benefit of Kriya and meditation, but you need the time and you need the focus. This Christmas meditation allows you a whole day set aside to be able to commune with God and the masters. And the blessings last you a very, very long time. I think a lot of karma is dissolved. Your pathway is opened up spiritually. You may have very deep experiences, the experience of God, of peace, of joy, of love, of an overwhelming feeling that God is present there with you. And so we every day, every year at Ananda and all Master's disciples around the world do this Christmas meditation in honor of Christ's birth and in honor of the Christ consciousness that's dwelling within each one of us. And we're trying to reach that consciousness on that day. I'll go into now how to prepare. I'll go into the week before, the day of, and then after. So the week before, this is why I wanted to speak on this today, is start to prepare yourself now. Have your meditations, don't miss your meditation, and make it maybe a little longer. Focus on the techniques more deeply. Pray to the masters that they help you at the long meditation to really dive deep. Maybe do more Mahamudra, more of the Kriya preparatory practices, so that you're not just that one day focused on deepening your meditation, but lead up to it. Just like if you're going to run a marathon or do something that takes that kind of energy, you step by step. And so in these days now, this is why I took some days on my own. I wanted to start to prepare for the Christmas meditation. And last weekend, we had the Kriya Day that also was there so that we could prepare. So take this time now and really try to prepare yourself on all levels. Mainly, preparation is attunement to the gurus, that they bless you to be open to the blessings flowing. Then the day before, try to be a little bit more alone on that day. Be more quiet, more inward. That night before, don't have a big meal where you wake, your stomach is, you're digesting food, heavy food all night, and you don't get a good night's sleep, and then you can't get up in the morning. Eat very lightly that evening. Don't watch television or movies the night before, or go on social media heavily the night before the long meditation. Read something from Master, from Swamiji, or listen to some of their talks. Start communing deeply with the Masters then, and be more inward. Don't talk so much that night. You'll find that it's up to you. You have a lot of family duties, but there's a lot of conversation that doesn't need to happen. I was in silence for about 3 days just now. It's so wonderful. Who talks to you? Who do you talk to? God alone. It's such a beautiful time. And so maybe that evening, also, not maybe, but I would say have a good meditation. Don't say, well, tomorrow's 8 hours. I don't need to meditate long. I'll just meditate 10 minutes. Have a decent long meditation that evening. Do more Mahamudra that evening itself. Energize that evening. Maybe do a couple of postures. You try to de-stress your body, relax your body, get rid of the tensions, the mental tensions as well. Another thing is play maybe some of Swamiji's music to relax your mind. You have to go into a long meditation relaxed, as Swamiji said. You can't race in and hope that a miracle is going to happen in those 8 hours. You have to really be open and prepared yourself as much as you can. On the day of, I'm going to break this down into physically, mentally, spiritually. First of all, eat lightly that morning, if at all. If you can fast or have just some fruit and nuts, do that. Don't have a big meal. You just won't be able to meditate well. just have enough that you feel that you're not hungry. But people who can, maybe just have some juice. You want the energy to be able to focus in meditation, not your stomach's rumbling. Oh, you have to keep going to the washroom and all that. You just want to forget the body. And the less you can keep feeding it, the more you'll be able to forget the body. That morning, do energization. And that day, do energization twice, if at all possible. Maybe do it first thing in the morning and then do it right before the meditation, or midway through the meditation during the break, energize again. That day, do maybe more than usual Mahamudra practice. Maybe instead of 3, you do 4 or 5 or more if you can. This is a mixed audience, so I think as far as levels, so you have to decide. But the day of the meditation, do more and better. Do more practices, more kriyas, pranayama, do more than you would normally do. Do long Hong Sa, long Om practice. You can do more kriyas than usual, as I said. Someone who's been practicing kriya for a while, not a beginner, but others, Swamiji told us, you can do 144 easily at a sitting, 108 plus 36 more. Challenge yourself. Don't just say, oh, I usually do 60. 60 is enough. Do more, at least do 108 if you've been meditating for 3 years or longer, or even less. It depends on how well you're doing. If you get tired or sleepy at a certain point, you can inhale, tense your body. Here again, do more than you usually do. But as Swamiji said, your vibrations, even on the computer, are going to be felt by other people who are trying to meditate. So don't move around a lot. Don't get up. If you're doing it from home, get up, walk out, and okay, they're still meditating. I'll meditate 5. Go in, out, in, out. Don't do that. Be honest with yourself. If you really want to do the long meditation, do the long meditation. If not, come maybe halfway in, or maybe do the first part of it, do 2 hours, but whatever you're going to do it and do it well, and try to go deep during that time. Another thing physically is get to your seat early. Don't rush in. I see people come to class after 8, not even to speak of a little bit before 8. There's only less than 10 people before, and then everybody rushes in. I got to get there. Don't rush in on that day. It's just not a day to rush. Your body will be, I got to get there. You'll be stressed. And I would say, get ready the night before. If you're going to be online, get your chair ready, your kneeling bench, your pillow, your shawl, your silk and wool, your own board, your headphones, your earplugs, your whatever. You might have a small picture like this of Guruji with you just right in front of you. Prepare your altar. Don't wait till the last minute. And if you're going to one of the centers that is having it in person, I'm not sure who might be, but don't get there late. Just, you heard what Swamiji said, the doors were closed and that nobody in, nobody out, unless upon an emergency. And so get there, I would say an hour early, and you can energize there. You can do a couple of postures, get your place set. As far as your body physically, what most people do is have a couple of options for sitting, one on the floor and a chair behind them. So if you need to sit in the chair, you can, or a kneeling bench, or some have 3, the pillow, the kneeling bench, the chair. I typically have the pillow and the chair, but don't think you're going to be able to sit on the floor comfortably the whole time without your knees hurting. Maybe you're lucky, but have some other option so that you're not trying, oh God, I got to sit here 5 more hours and my knees and my back are killing me. Be realistic about your body. Okay, and then mentally, try to leave your worries behind. Give one day to God. have faith in God one day that he's going to take care of your problems, and just give them to him before you walk in the temple, before you go into your meditation room at home. And then just leave that there leave it outside the door for that time. Chanting and will really help you. Don't keep sitting like this during the chanting. I wonder when the chanting is going to be over. Chant to God, open your heart. The whole day is about openness. The first half is mainly the doing part. You're doing the practices. The second half is more being. I'm open now. From the practices, I'm opening myself to feel God's presence, God's touch, blessing in my heart. And so chant your heart out if you can. Just keep chanting as much. Don't use the chanting periods to think. Chant when we chant. And when the music is playing, this is the most beautiful music. Some very traditional master played, some Swamiji added, some different center leaders might be playing. But it's all to just relax you, relax the tensions, open you, uplift you, focus at the spiritual eye. So go into it. Don't say, no, I don't like music. I'm just going to keep meditating during the music. No, don't do that. Just unless you're in samadhi, and then do whatever you want. But if you're being guided, go with what we're doing. The talks, the guided meditations will help you deeply. Listen to what Swamiji, just as we did, 1-2 minutes here and there, metaphysical meditations. Pray to God. I read something so beautiful the other day that Master said to look here in the spiritual eye and visualize Master in the spiritual eye and pray to him there. Introduce me to God. What a beautiful, we've all heard it, but how many people do it? He said, in the spiritual eye, not just sort of thinking Master somewhere, and pray to him. Chant Om Guru to feel his presence. And then finally, mentally and then spiritually, maybe I went into this, listening to the Om, looking into the spiritual eye, looking at the photos of the gurus. Once you feel you're just too restless to do anymore, open your eyes, look at the altar, enjoy the beautiful altar that will be there. And finally, use the time for prayer. Pray for others. Someone asked before, and I have to say this, they said, well, when you pray, what do you pray for? Do you pray for yourself? Do you pray for this? And I said, actually, I feel that God is blessing me. I want to pray for those who ask for prayers, pray for the world, pray for people to be able to uplift themselves. But so don't just pray, God help me, God help me, God help me. Think of others. As you think of others, the channel is blessed by what flows through it. Last and not least, afterwards, don't go home and go on social media. Go home, turn on a movie, go home, turn on some loud raucous music, or not go home, go to the shopping mall. And this is just wrong. Just keep the vibration it's like you've been given this wonderful gift in your heart. Hold on to that gift as long as you can. Be quiet that evening. Maybe read something of Master Swamiji's. And finally, just keep thanking God for the blessings you received. Even if you don't know you got them, don't come away saying, nothing happened. I knew nothing happened. You just have no idea the great blessings, seen and unseen, that will come into your life if you spend that time focused on God, calling to the gurus, praying to them, and opening yourself to their deep blessings. I wish you a wonderful, blessed 8-hour Christmas meditation. And now I'll request Natindra to come on screen we just have a couple of questions today.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. Let me share my screen for the questions. The first question, Dhyanaji, is, I don't think I can meditate for so long. So is it okay to come late or perhaps leave early?
Yes. Now, this is what I would advise. I didn't think I could meditate that long either at the beginning. And sometimes I did come for just half. But I would suggest if you're going to do half, or you're afraid you can't sit that long, come to the first half because you might stay for the second half. You understand? That's what happened to people I know different times. I knew people who were brand new, just learning Hong Sa, who came and stayed all day. And so don't get into the delusion that, oh, I'm new, I can't meditate that long. That's for yogis in a cave. And I mean, I think we've got so much help from the masters. Who's really meditating? They're helping us so much. And so if you're going to do half, start at the beginning, start on that high note, get your practices going, then you probably will find that you don't want to leave. That's what I would recommend.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. The next question is, what benefits or blessings does one receive from this meditation? And what have you felt from doing it for so many years?
Well, I'll answer the first one. The benefits are enormous. I don't know all the benefits even, because how do you know how you've been blessed? But what I've seen is in the meditations, you feel so still. It's quiet. Nobody's bothering you. Even that alone, it's just a blessing. And the peace that you feel. Now, those are, I think just about everybody feels that. Now, I think a lot of people see the light of Christ, of Krishna that day. They maybe merge a little bit, go into the spiritual eye bit. I think people hear Om loudly on that day. You need the time and the focus, and those experiences come to you. A very deep presence of Master being there, of Christ being there. Maybe Babaji, one of the gurus. You feel it in the room. I know some of you who've been doing the meditation for years, you can't help but feel that the masters are in there meditating with you, blessing you, going from person to person, just giving you blessings. Now, personally, what have I felt? My whole spiritual life was based on these long meditations, be it at Christmas or other times of the year or seclusions. I can say that my spiritual growth has come from giving that time to God and gurus. And on Christmas, particularly, I felt that I was much more close to Christ, and that when the social Christmas came, I was centered and uplifted and had so much joy in my heart. Rather than it being a hectic time with the presents and the tree and the thing, I just felt so much love and joy. And it lasted so long. And over the years, it's built and it's built and it's built up, meaning I would never miss it. I would never miss the meditation, because that's a time when I felt the presence of God very, very, very deeply.
Dhyanaji, we have a couple of live questions.
Okay.
The first one is it okay to do a particular yoga posture or a physical exercise so that during the long meditation, so that I can sit comfortably for long?
Definitely do yoga postures before. Do your usual set, or do specific ones for the legs, the back, the neck, the shoulders. It's the whole body. I would just choose your favorite postures for those areas. Definitely do them. And also at the break, if you're at home, you can do one or two postures. Then I wouldn't go into the long meditation unless you just bodily can't do it without energizing, without more Mahamudra, and without some yoga postures. I've never done it, just too much. You just can't, your body can't take it. And this tension and relaxation is fabulous. Anytime you're feeling like, oh, I'm just so tensed up, do that. Do the even count breath. At the break, get down on the floor, do more Mahamudra. These are things that I've seen that work. So what you don't want to do is grin and bear it. That doesn't work. And you don't want to go out the break and go eating. And that doesn't work either. You can have a piece of fruit. If you need some fuel, you can have a couple of nuts, but don't go, then you come back, you'll just be asleep. you'll be asleep for the rest of the meditation, 4 more hours. And so you just can't wake up. And the other thing is, don't have the heat on in your house so high that you just feel sleepy. When we would meditate with Swamiji, and I did, I don't know, many long meditations at Ananda with Swamiji. First thing, windows all open, freezing. No, December time, and December, all windows open. And Swamiji would have it's like, it's kind of like a scarf and a thick sweater. And everybody had on the thickest clothes they could find. But those windows were open the whole time. So don't think it's a cozy time. I've got my hot water bottle and my blankie, and I've got the heater on, and I'm going to be nice and cozy. Forget it. You're going to be asleep. So you want to be awake during that meditation. And how are you going to stay awake? Keep the air flowing. I'm glad this question has come up, and keep the windows open. Yeah, all those things I said about the tension relaxation, the yoga postures. The body has to have its due, then it will befriend you. If it doesn't, it won't be your friend during that meditation. And so start working on it now, as I said earlier.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. Related to the hot water bottle that you mentioned, what should I carry in my kit bag if I am coming to the center?
That's a good question. So I would bring your silk and wool, your pillow. So don't expect the center is going to have a comfortable pillow for you. Bring your own gear. Bring your own board. Bring earplugs. I bring a headset if you don't have earplugs, or maybe bring both. You don't want to hear any noise. That's one thing. Wear comfortable clothing that's not noisy. I'm glad you're bringing this up. So a down jacket, nobody was allowed to wear those down jackets. Anytime they move, you get 100, 200 people with down jackets the whole time. So don't bring that kind of jacket or wear it, or wear it and take it off, but things that'll keep you warm that are quiet. I would bring, this is what I used to do on my own. I bring my own little altar and have it right in front of me, and a picture of Master there, and some little, maybe Gita, some little book, a little booklet. So I could read something if I got, really at the break or something like that. You might have a thermos with not black chai. I know people aren't liking this, but better to have something that's not going to get you jazzed up. You can try it if you're used to it, but I usually bring something that is hot water or maybe ginger, but nothing that's going to excite your body. Does that make sense? So you don't want anything where you're getting like this. Typically at the centers, there's some fruit and nuts, but you might bring some of that on your own in your kit. I would bring a woolen hat, because if your head gets cold, then you're not comfortable. A shawl, I would bring 2 or 3 shawls, depending on how cold you typically are, or a blanket, but don't bring your whole bed blanket and everything. Do people come in? They need a car to bring all their stuff, but something thick, and wear thick clothing and thick socks so that you don't want to be cold. It's not fun to be cold in the long meditation. And I think I covered everything. Is that right? Can you think of anything else?
Should we carry the Om board as well?
Yeah, definitely. Bring your own board. Bring all your usual meditation things. Now, here's one thing. Bring your heart. How about that? Bring your heart. Because if you're open, so much happens. If you can have everything there and you're just all set. And I've seen people, they're just all set. And then they come out of there, what up? Because they couldn't open up. And don't bring your music system and all that. There's going to be, so much music. I'm already prepared actually, the one for Gurgaon, but there'll be so much wonderful music and chanting. You'll be on that wave, just floating up. I think that's all. You don't want to sit there and write. Don't bring your phone. How about that? Don't bring your phone and sit there and at the break, message people. This isn't done. Turn your phone off and put it in your bag.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. We actually have two more questions. One is a live question.
Okay.
The question is, can we practice higher kriya when we are meditating?
Definitely. Yes. Even if other people don't have it. Now, who's going to be eyes open looking around and see, oh, look, what is he doing? What is that technique? You shouldn't be looking around during the meditation time. Your eyes should be closed. Anyway, do the higher kriyas. If you're blessed to have those, do them. So you've got a lot of wonderful practices you can do. You can do Navi Kriya, chanting Om at the chakras, chanting Om at the chakras in Kriya, if you've had Kriya long enough. Then you have first Kriya, second Kriya, third Kriya, fourth Kriya, Hong Sa in the spine. I'm sure I'm missing some, but what I'm saying is you got a lot in your kit bag. And that is the day to use every technique. But here's the thing. Remember, I said being, doing and being. Prepare the meal, then have that time to enjoy the meal. Don't keep, the techniques will get your consciousness up, then just soar, go. It's wonderful. Then when you feel energies coming down or whatever, then do another practice and then go. You see what I'm saying? So you have to go between the two. It can't be just go. And it can't just be be. I'm not doing anything. You have to have that fine balance between them. And you'll feel that insight. Let Master guide your meditation.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. The final question is, do the other more long-time meditators' depth help your own meditation?
Definitely. If I were you, I would find one and sit near them. We would all just crowd up to where Swamiji was sitting. And I was always right where he was, never in the back. I just go right by Swamiji. And you could just feel a wave of blessings coming on you. And so still also think of Swamiji, think of Master, think of Babaji, think of the gurus and bring them, sit next to them. But also anybody who's been meditating longer than you by some time, I would sit by them. Don't get that close. There you are right next to them. But just keep an eye out for people who are longtime meditators, because that will surely help your meditation. And you'll find that, wow, you're going deep and you don't know how it's happening because they're going deep. So that's a good question. Okay.
That's all we have, Dhyanaji.
Okay. All the best to everybody in your long meditation. God bless you. I hope you have a blissful, blissful time. Master bless you. Thank you.